How's your dinner? Good. Great. Wow. Okay, it's a great honor for me to introduce the next speaker. Day 2. So, this man is from Australia. I met him the first time in Norway, 2015. We were team leaders at ACMC, all the way from Australia to Norway. Yeah, we have been collaborating after that sometimes. It's an honor for me to introduce a great friend, a great trainer, and a mental coach. Help me welcome Mr. Shawn Dwyer. Just push.
Welcome everybody to Evening 2 presentations. My name is Shawn Dwyer and I'm here to present with you the Collaborative Trainer. So some of us are here in the room this evening and some of us are online. But together we have already collaborated. You have collaborated with your family and your friends and maybe your work colleagues to be here this evening. So I'd like to start off with you considering the people that have allowed you and supported you to be here tonight. And I'd like you to thank them. From your heart, thank your family, thank your friends. Because without their collaboration, none of us would be here. And so this evening, I'll be talking about the Collaborative Trainer, and I'll be using some of my notes because this is a critical piece for NeuroSemantics. One of the first things Michael told us yesterday, he started off this training with NeuroSemantics is a collaboration. Are you interested to become a collaborative neurosemantic trainer?
Yes.
You are? Thank you. Thank you. My journey started back in 2013 in Hong Kong with Mandy and Michael. I walked into the Hong Kong hotel, like this building, and it said on a sign, like behind me here, and it said, the world's most advanced models and technology in human development. And I thought, wow, if that could be given to the planet, we could do so much more together. And that is what we are a part of this evening, ladies and gentlemen. And this is what I would like you to take into your future, and especially to develop the skills from this evening's presentation. And so we are not coming from scarcity. We are coming from a mindset of abundance. That is where collaboration starts. Abundance is where we can operate and we can do more together. You see, we don't need each other. We can create things, we can innovate things ourselves, but we can do far more combined. We can do so much more innovation, collectively and as a team. And this evening, I'll talk a bit more about my experience and maybe even the meta story to this training, part of that meta story. Yet we also want to look at how do we become a collaborative trainer? So the first thing is to know collaborative trainers. And so each one of the assist team, and even Selena in the back. Hey, Selena. We are there interacting and discussing and communicating what we can do together, collectively. So this evening's presentation will take us about 60 minutes. And in that overview, the first 15 minutes, I'll provide you with the what and the why and some benefits. And then I'll present to you the pattern. And then one of you will be fortunate to come and experience collaboration as an opportunity to demonstrate collaboration. And then we'll all go and get to actually practice the pattern together. We'll break out into pairs and we'll do 15 minutes each to then really discover how we can build a collaborative community, a collaborative countries to make a collaborative world. Would that be of interest to you?
Yes.
Yeah. Some of us are trainers and some of us are here for APG psychology. But regardless, even if you are online, we can all do more when we interact and connect and relate with each other. And so I'd like to start off with collaboration. People working together, they're like a chain of strength. And so do you see how my elbows are down? I'd like you to try this too and have your elbows parallel. Hold your hands like this, a chain of strength. So this is you collaborating with yourself right now. And a bit later, we'll look at how to collaborate with others, okay? So why do you want to collaborate with others? To create something no one individual can create or do by him or herself. That's the power of collaboration. So to interpret collaboration, all movements, all innovations, creativity come from collaborative people synthesizing. Let's do this action, synthesizing. Synthesizing our differences. That's what we want to do with people who are unique. Not one of us are the same, regardless our culture, our age, or any other label, synthesizing our differences. And then BC, the world began before collaboration. In 1992, was that right, Michael? 92, NeuroSemantics started? Was it 1994? Dr. Bob Bodenhamer and Dr. Michael Hall created NeuroSemantics as a collaboration. Thank you. This training, NSTT, and all previous NSTT training events are developed through collaboration. So we would not be here now as a group if the 4 sponsors did not collaborate together. 4 international sponsors. So we have Mariani, the mother of NeuroSemantics in Indonesia. We have the marvelous Mandy from China. And we have the miraculous Malaysian Mizuki. And myself. Thank you. And so together, we can obviously do more than what we can alone or apart. So the core question this evening I'd like you to think about is, who will you collaborate with as a trainer? When you're not collaborating is the first step to understand and recognise. We have a lot of competition and you can be a lone ranger with over-investment in your ego. You can have over-competitive mind. You operate from scarcity. This can be the default business mindset, competition. Do we know people that has that competitive mindset? Anyone that's competitive? I've been very competitive. I still am very competitive, but not over competitive. This is what is not collaboration. What is collaboration is we start from a frame of abundance. We want that abundance to initiate our interactions. The question that a Lone Ranger comes from is, what could I lose? And so they could probably lose everything if that's how they want to think. Yet we want to think about what aspects are there for collaboration, because we want to know how to collaborate, the processes for collaboration. So let's consider, who do we collaborate with? Your audience. So as we interact as a dialogue between us, as you become a trainer, you will have an audience to interact with. And then your sponsors. When you go back to your home, hopefully you'll have a sponsor, so then you can be a trainer and be sponsored in your area. And then co-trainers. Together we can actually train far more richer content, far higher quality training. The fourth one is community. Neurosemantic trainers offer massive value to their community. And then, again, with yourself, frame of abundance. Because if we aren't operating from abundance, then it's a struggle to get anybody else to as well. And so these are the aspects how we can operate from collaboration. But to do that is one, to know who we relate to. But we also want to know the degrees of collaboration. So, and these are all in your manual on page 42, if you have the trainer's manual. So if you're sitting next to a trainer, check out their manual. The first degree is competition, where you are winner or a loser. But it's hard, it's survivalistic. It's not what everybody wants. The next step is compliance, where you just nod and it's okay. It's okay. I'm not going to say anything about my boss. It's okay. The third is actually where we coordinate. We get told what to do, or we tell others what to do, and the interaction starts. But the first 3 steps, 3 degrees in collaboration are not really collaborative. They're more transactional. And so they're not much different than buying bread or milk. The fourth step is where it starts, cooperation, where we can connect and respect. Connect and respect. We start to get a bit more active than the cooperation. We get a bit of energy. Things start to move. And then we start to get familiar and we start to collaborate, high energy. We can get performance. We can start celebrating each other's wins. We invest in each other. It becomes more profound. We actually enjoy what we do. Would you like that? Yes. And the best is synergy, where again, together, we can do more alone than apart. We are able to inspire the world and create what we can create together. So these are the 6 steps. The last 3 are transformational, where we can transform the planet together. So if you're a neurosemanticist, you know that we have the latest book called The Deep Dive. Has anybody got that book, The Deep Dive? Do you know that that book, created by Michael Hall, was also completed with about, let me see, Michael, I'm thinking 4 or 5 meta-coaches. How many meta-coaches actually helped that book? Would it have been?
I would guess about 12.
12 meta-coaches collaborated to create a high-quality book. So part of that chain of collaboration, you imagine being the anchor on the screen as you're modelling collaborative leadership, diving through the depths of neurosemantics. We actually realised that a collaborative leader, a meta-coach, can actually have care about a vision that's bigger than themselves. They can also extend to others and recognise engaging in dialogue. This is how that book was developed, collaboratively. Yet this evening, ladies and gentlemen, that is not all. I want to offer you, do you know what the secret is to the neurosemantic vision? to facilitate a collaborative community of people who apply the patterns to themselves, who congruently walk their talk, and who live with integrity. How does that fit for you? How fantastic. Yeah. So parts of becoming collaborative is knowing that there is two components of ourself we can develop. One is distinguishing and integrating our independent self and our social self. And if we can bring them together, we can collaborate a lot easier. But when our independent self is actually too invested, our ego is in the way, we become competitive, and that can stop collaboration. If our social self is too in the way, we lack initiative, and we want to avoid conflict. So bringing those together as a collaboration can create value to be full human maturity, to expand your sense of reality and your ability to deal with it. This is some of the value of collaboration for individuals that we don't realise that we can achieve. So that's the first point. The second point is it's a social and creative process where a eureka moment, like a flower, like the music, comes in and emerges, where we don't realise that parts can be created more than what any system ever can. That eureka moment is what some teams live for, the energy, the motivation of eureka. And the third point, high performance teams, source of creativity and innovation. They're fun and enjoyment. Did you have fun, Mizuki? Yes. Did you have fun, Mariani, Mandy? It's about performing at our peak skills. And so this is part of the NSTT meta story for 2024. 4 leaders, different countries, collaborating to ensure that we can support our master trainers, Dr. Michael Hall, David Murphy, Mandy, to come and present and provide us with even far more greater skills than what we can develop ourselves. The benefits of that is to be on the winning team with a good spirit. That's with others. That's what collaboration can do, being on a great team. But it's not easy. Who said collaboration's easy? I'm not up here for easy. When the chain breaks, we call them caveat. There are 3 caveats I'd like you to consider this evening. At any point in time, derailing can occur through deficiency needs. You can collaborate, but if the needs are not met, deficiency needs will derail and break that collaborative chain. The second is our independent self dominates. I want more than what the group deserves. And then the group dissolves. And the third is that social self dominates, where they don't get involved, they're not invested, and it falls over. So these are 3 key caveats. Very soon I'll demonstrate this pattern. I'll explain this pattern to you and demonstrate it, and then you'll get to go and practice. And in all 3 of those situations, I'd like you to think about where could these occur. And so how do we actually collaborate? Well, in your manual on page 42 is the collaborative trainer. It starts off with the elicitation question. Are you a collaborative trainer? Do you want to be? So the pattern starts off. Number 1, access your default references for collaboration. So what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of collaboration or leadership? Now this step 1, it's very, very smart. It's discovering the frames of your participant and how they currently view collaboration. And so those few questions ask not just how they collaborate, how are they naturally linked to be collaborative? And maybe even what's stopping them collaborate. And so there's some really key insights into the mind of your participant. So then you can uncover in step 2, on the next page, page 43 at the top, design knowledge and skills for collaboration. And so it starts off with what do you know about collaboration, how it works, what's required, and then we discover their current skills and we identify a checklist. At the bottom, there's 10 collaborative skills. So for you to become more collaborative, in this pattern, your participant can choose one of those 10 skills. Skills such as forming, inviting, structuring change, organising, embracing differences, creating a collaborative culture. And so this second step, the participant can capture which one of those would help offset their frames in that first step. I'll demonstrate that very soon up here. The third step is set an empowering frame for your healthy collaborative spirit. And so reinstalling what are the key frames for you to be collaborative as you develop your collaborative skills. And then the fourth step is to be able to apply the collaborative frame to your team and this NSTT group. Because as we are a group, we can become more individually and do more collectively than what we could alone. And right here is the great playground to develop these skills. And so, you know, what small things can you do today, this week, to be more collaborative? So I'd like to invite one of you up here on stage to be able to demonstrate this pattern with me. Is anybody keen and passionate to be able to come up here? Hirsch, Jacob, Raj, yeah, we've got a few. So we might ask Hirsch. Hirsch, come on up. Thank you, Hirsch.
Thank you. That's good. Oh, there, where it is.
Well, it's got a mic as well. Now, I'll be up here demonstrating with Hirsch, and so I'll be present to Hirsch while I'm up here.
I'll just put it here.
It's okay?
I think so. Okay, good.
It's good? Okay. Thank you, Hirsch, for coming up and being part of a collaborative trainer.
Happy to.
Thank you very much. And so I'm going to demonstrate we are going to demonstrate this pattern of the collaborative trainer.
Okay.
And my role is to demonstrate the steps. So you may not get your outcome, but we are here in service of you.
All right.
Okay, so Hirsch, are you a collaborative trainer, a collaborative leader?
I would like to believe that I am. Yes.
Okay, like to believe you are. Okay. Do you want to be?
I want to be more of a collaborative leader.
You want to be more of a collaborative leader?
Yes.
Fantastic. What is the first thing that comes to mind when you think about collaboration and leadership?
So the first thing that comes to mind is people getting together, sharing their thoughts and ideas, building on each other's ideas, and creating something great and wonderful.
Okay, fantastic. What personal references, beliefs, or memories are present when you think of being a collaborative leader?
So very recently, it would be with my team, Magic 7.
With your team, Magic
Yes,
7. Cool.
And at least since I come from a corporate environment, my team as well, the coaching team in my company. And I think of that as when we get to work on something, a project, a program that it's not only ourselves that we really create achievements for, but more so our stakeholders, the people who that benefit from it.
Okay, so the stakeholders benefit as well as your team.
That's right.
That's amazing. Fantastic. So how much are you naturally attracted to being collaborative?
Pretty attracted to it, maybe in a scale of 1 to 10, to 7.
It's a 7 out of 10. What fears or apprehensions do you have about collaboration?
Conflict. I just saw the word conflict over there and it rang a bell, and
Okay.
yeah, I find myself sometimes conflict averse.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there's conflict fears. What does or could inhibit your ability to be collaborative?
What inhibits myself from being collaborative?
Yeah.
I guess multiple things. That would be one.
The fears.
Fear of conflict.
Yeah.
Number 2, it's going to be if in case something needs to happen immediately, I feel like there is a need to just have one say and just do something and
Right.
lessen the collaboration. And number 3, fear of having too many cooks in the kitchen, spoiling the broth.
Right, too many cooks spoiling the broth. Okay, and so I'm curious, how competitive are you naturally?
Very low. Scale of 1 to 10, 3.
You're a 3 competitive.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're quite collaborative.
I would say so, but I don't really equate my competitiveness with the collaborativeness. I guess I'm more of I lean toward the social aspect as I let a lot of people share their thoughts, and I would love to be able to hear all of them. Might be a weakness too.
Okay, fantastic. Right, okay. So in number 2, step 2, we're going to design knowledge and skills for collaboration.
All right, sure.
Even more than what you have.
Okay.
And so what do you know about collaboration? How it works? What's required?
Well, what I know about collaboration is it needs diversity of thought, diversity of ideas.
Okay, diversity.
Yeah, it needs people working together to be able to build something, and it needs a healthy amount of conflict in order for creation of something that wasn't there, because conflict fills gaps.
Okay, okay. So given that, what skills do you have that enable you to collaborate?
Supporting people,
Supporting.
hearing them out, listening to them.
Yep.
I love using yes and. That.
Okay, and so what we want to do now is look at what new skills do you need to develop. So out of the 10 skills here, we have forming, inviting. Which one of these would you like to consider developing to become more collaborative?
I guess number 6, conflicting productively.
Conflicting
or
productively.
Conflict resolution skills.
Okay, and so that would sort of contrast the fear of conflict.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So then what beliefs or values, decisions do you need to develop to be more collaborative?
I guess I need to be able to develop embracing conflict. I need to be
embracing
able
conflict.
to welcome it even, or maybe even love it.
Okay,
Yeah.
embrace, welcome, and even love conflict. And so given that, in step 3, we want you to set empowering frames for a healthy collaborative spirit around that embracing and even loving conflict to a healthy degree.
Yes.
And so what frames would you need?
Synergized and productive conflict, I guess.
Synergized and productive.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your frame
Yes.
for developing conflicting productively.
Yeah.
Okay, what frame of mind do you need to be a collaborative leader? What attitude in that situation?
Somebody who is even more open, even more welcoming, but even more strong to face whatever comes.
Okay, and so as you try on these frames, how well do they fit you right now?
So an image in my head is, I hold up a frame strong enough, a physical frame strong enough,
Okay.
that it fits pretty well.
Okay. And the frame?
In the frame, it is like scaffolding holding a building up, or something that is being constructed.
Like a physical structure, like
Yes.
holding a building up.
And that everything underneath it is still safe, and that is within that collaboration in the team.
So the physical structure is holding the building and the team is safe
Yes.
within that structure. Okay, and so as you apply this collaborative frame to your team and even to this NSTT group while you're here, what small things can you do today, even this week, to be more collaborative?
I will start using that frame of synergized and productive conflict
Using the frame.
and embracing it. Haven't encountered it yet, but I will welcome it if in case it ever arrives.
Okay, so welcoming in that frame.
Yes.
Synergizing conflict. So what could you or your team do to become more collaborative? As you say, as the leader, you'll welcome that in.
Yeah.
What could you and your team do?
Me and my team, we will face anything that comes our way. We can say that anything that we will learn, because it's all very new skills, we will learn together and we will keep supporting each other.
Okay.
However much our differences could be or not be.
Yeah. So you can take on your team can take on anything and you can learn new skills and work together.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And so how does this fit you now, being more collaborative?
Actually makes me happy.
Makes you happy? Fantastic. Well, thank you, Hirsch. Appreciate your time and coming through this pattern. So thank
you
you.
so much, Shawn.
Just sit up here for a minute with me.
Okay.
Thank you. So I understand that we went through that quite quick because Hirsch is a quick thinker. So thank you. I appreciate the speed that we've went through. What we want to look at now, are there any questions about the process before your turn practicing the pattern? Do you have any questions at all? No questions? They must have really got that.
Am I? They're synergizing the thoughts.
That's right. Yeah. It could be reflective. Okay, so what we want to do now is to break out into pairs of 2, and we want you to practice on page 42 and 43, the pattern, the collaborative leader. Start with the elicitation question. And so it'll be 15 minutes each. You got the time? So Mizuki will keep time. Anwar will keep time. And the books, you'll need, if you're an APG psychology participant, you'll need to go with a trainer who has a book, who has the actual manual. So make sure that you're with someone who has the manual. Thank you, Hirsch.
You're welcome. I was so scared I might break it.
Danielle. Okay, we all ready? So, Are you now feeling more collaborative? Yes. Fantastic. Let's have a look. It's a bit of a debrief now. How was that? Fantastic. Thank you. Excellent. Very, very well. Any questions? Any questions about the pattern or process?
I'd like to be collaborative, but I'm afraid people will take advantage of me. What should I do?
Okay, so thank you, Dr. Michael Hall, for that question. In a room of neurosemantic trainers, we have a lot of trainers, and there will be a few that would offer collaborative leadership training. And so if you think people will take advantage of you, that social self can evolve and be brought in so you don't feel like you need to lack avoidance. To integrate that social self and the independent self to become more collaborative. But that will be part of the collaborative training that you can attend in our next training. Does that answer your question, Ms. Dr. Hall?
I need 5 questions. Come on.
Shawn,
Anthony.
thanks for that pattern. In the illustration question, it says, are you a collaborative leader? Do you want to be? How much do we have to use that illustration question to make it compelling for the person to want to move their collaborative leadership up?
Yes, thanks, Anthony. That's a great question. And so it's going to be context dependent on the individual. So for example, if it's in business and they potentially might have a team that is not collaborative, let's say that they are competing or just coordinating, then it's looking at the benefits and the values for them to want to collaborate, to then ensure that are they ready, are they open for collaboration, to then really ask, are you a collaborative leader? To induce that state. And so you could ask, how much are you a collaborative? Does that answer your question? Yeah? Okay, thank you.
Hey, Shawn.
Hey.
So I'm just curious, in every patterns, there's a number, the title for all the questions. Do we need to read out that title before we ask those questions? Because when I go through the questions, we are in that particular state. However, when you move to another questions, then when you read that questions, you might break the state before you jump into the next questions, the questionings. Okay. So yeah, what is your take on that?
Okay, so you're saying you'll move into another state when you ask the next question?
We might in some states in every questions, but when you go to the next title, like number 2, number 3, sure, you read that title instead of just straight to the questions. Yeah, so is it necessary to read that, or you can just skip it?
It's not necessary, but if your participant may need a bit more clarity, a frame, you could use the step as the frame to help them understand the process.
Oh, okay. Because my personal experience is that I don't need that. I just straight away, go with the flow. It's better for me to just suddenly you tell me something which I don't even comprehend it at that moment. Because I'm in that state now. Suddenly you tell me, design, knowledge, and skill for collaborations. Okay, so why not you just straight away ask me, what do you know about collaborations? Then I will just go with the flow straight from the previous questions. That's my thing. That's why I'm just telling my feeling. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Shawn, I think there's a question about how am I attractive to collaborative. I think I'm very high, but when I answer how am I competitive, also very high. So I don't know whether is there a conflict to be competitive and collaborative. It's like maybe I shouldn't be that competitive to be more collaborative. What's your opinion on this?
Yeah, thanks, Ting Wei, for your question. And so it depends in the context. For example, if you're in a team and if you're very competitive, is that limiting the team? Or if you're a leader of that team, are you using your competition energy to actually help foster and promote the team? But typically, your competitive nature could limit a team environment in some way. And the right people to ask is the other team members. How is your competitiveness impacting the team in a negative way? Does that answer okay?
Yeah, get the feedback from the team.
Yeah. Thanks, Tingwei. Hi,
Good
Zandy.
evening, Shawn. So my question is in relation to step number 3, set an empowering frame for a health collaborative spirit. So what frames would you need? So is this, are we supposed to focus on the frames that we need to develop in relation to question in step number 2, what new skills do you need to develop?
That's right. So we've discovered the skills in the menu list of 10 skills, but then it's about more the framing, because collaboration, obviously we need skills, but it also is empowered through framing. And so it's really a great induction pattern to induce collaborative framing. And so then it might be, you might hold a frame of abundance to collaborate, but then you may not have a skill, or your deficiency need might take you away from being collaborative. So is there a scarcity happening? And so what's stopping that frame being maintained or held for collaboration? And that's where we're contrasting the frames in step 1 that's prohibiting more collaboration to identify the skill, and then holding the collaborative frame in step 3. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah? Thanks, Sam.
Shawn, I want to ask, I want to collaborate with anyone, but how if there is no one want to collaborate with me?
Yeah. And so, Danny,
What should I do?
thank you, Danny, for that question. And so, Danny, is there a question behind that question?
I feel no one want to be with me.
Okay.
No one to collaborate with me. So what should I do?
Yeah. And so there may be some real opportunity that you could come and attend the collaborative leadership training with Dr. Michael when we soon run that event to develop your collaborative skills.
All right, last question. Do you have a pattern for turning a Lone Ranger into a collaborative leader? And if so, what would he turn into?
Yeah, so today thank you, Dr. Michael Hall, for your question. Today we spoke about ego strength, and typically the Lone Ranger who has strong competitive ego may need to relax a little and become a bit more healthier, have developed communication skills so that they can actually interact more effectively. And so this is where neurosemantic training could really support those skills.
Sign up.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for your questions. Wrapping it up here, future collaborations can now be a source of creativity, innovation, wealth, and great teams. And now, one last request. I'd like everybody to stand up and stand next to at least one other person and to hold their hand in this way. Yeah, not a thumb game. Put the thumbs down. And we're going to practice. Hang on. Settle down for a minute, settle down. And so we want to practice these words together. And so, hang on, let's stop. Hang on, let's put them together. And after 3, we want to say these words together. After 3. 1, 2, 3. Inspire the world through our collaborative synthesizing our unique differences. Thank you. Do you want me to keep this, or do I get the other microphone?
We'll put you in the middle. Yeah, David will
Have this
take
one?
that
Right.
one.
Yep.
Because
Let's go down to the mic. I'll take one. Thanks. I'll take that
Is Mandy coming or not?
Get another chair.
you're going to translate. So, well done. And are you ready for some feedback?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely no.
One of the things we always want to know is how do you experience the training? And so reflecting upon the skills that you used, what do you think were some of your best skills in delivering that?
So asking the audience some questions
Okay.
as I went throughout, offering the way to interpret being a collaborative trainer,
Okay.
having a fantastic participant come up and actually demonstrate the pattern. So I thought that was,
Okay.
it looked useful, or to
Okay.
me, from my
So-
position, it looked useful. But the other skills that I thought was effective was trying to use the metaphor of the chain.
Okay. Okay. Okay, good. Skills that you were aware of that you used or didn't use as well as you could, or skills that you could have used that you didn't?
So skills that I could have used more of may have been a bit more humour. I had some at the beginning.
Okay.
Being less dependent on some of the slides as well,
Okay.
and just being more free with the
Okay.
with the content.
Okay. So in terms of the feedback, we're going to start with the formatting. So formatting at 2.5 is looking for 3 benefits. I counted 5. Clear definition, and you did that not only with the definition, but as you told us about aspects of collaboration, as you told us about degrees of collaboration, as you gave us examples of collaboration. So the definition was really, really well done. I don't think anybody would have walked out wondering what's collaboration. So then the steps were given. You won't walk through those, both pointing them on the slides and then with the person. The caveats, the what-ifs, were given at the very beginning, and all the content was accurate. You gave us the title, the what, the elicitation question, and so all of that was really well done. And as you can see, at level 3, I put under red, it wasn't compelling. And that's because you didn't use your voice.
Okay.
So you told us, you described it, the what was given there, but not the how to inspire the benefits.
I have pretty much the same, Shawn. Perhaps the only thing in addition was, I guess Michael mentioned the what ifs, that you gave us 3 what ifs. So it was complete. It was really well done.
Thanks.
The only thing was the voice.
Okay. And that's going to be coming up again and again as we talk, because for the most part, you were pretty monotone. I counted 3 words that you emphasized, but for the most part, it was pretty monotone. There wasn't much inflection or change. It was calm, it was clear, it was congruent, but it was good teaching. it wasn't good training.
Okay.
So we put a 2.7 on formatting. 2.7.
In terms of the skill of framing, we're looking for 4 frames and 2 points to get the 2.5 level. You gave us, of course, a very good definition, was pretty complete. You gave us a preventive frame, at least one. It was competition, that's not collaboration, so you were preventing us from that. You gave us the overview. I counted at least 3 points. We can do much more together, and that, in fact, you repeat that one several times. Collaboration starts from the frame of abundance. That was also another point. Michael has some pre-frames, and perhaps he wants to tell you a little bit more about that. And the only thing that we missed was the interpretation frame. I got something that was kind of an interpretation frame, but it was not clear as a frame. Yeah, and that was about synergizing the differences. Yeah. So just to let you know, how would it be if it was an interpretive frame? If you let us know, I want you to think about collaboration as synthesizing the differences. So that way is the structure of this frame.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So you danced around it, but didn't just come out and give us the interpretive frame. So when you frame, one of the most powerful frames of all is the interpretive frame. Because people can interpret things and go off in strange ways. So an interpretive frame helps people to know how to interpret what you're saying.
Right.
So the preventive frame helps us to know you're not talking about collaboration, you're not talking about the Lone Ranger, or competition, you're not talking about the Lone Ranger. So we know what you're not talking about. How should I think about collaboration? And so we didn't get, you danced around it, but we didn't get it really overt. Okay. There were some pre-frames, and a lot of your examples of collaboration were pre-frames for the experience of collaboration in this pattern. So that's at level 3. So we put a 2.6 for framing. If you want to drive a point home, repeat the point. And you did that 3 times with "we can do so much more together." But you said it as a teacher. Right. So this is where the voice, we can do so much more together than alone or apart. So when you use your voice, you're really going to convey it and induce state. Okay. Group rapport.
Group rapport. Okay, on the group rapport, what I got was your basic greetings, the entrance with the music. You were using a bunch of names, Michael, Bob, Ballenhammer, Mandy, etc. You were mentioning the history, the experience of this group, having eye contact with, I guess, if not all, the majority, matching with the beliefs and the values of this group. I counted 2 split statements. One was someone are here, some of you, some are online. And then you said something else about, I didn't wrote down the second one, but there were 2 split statements. What else? Yeah, that's what, a couple thanks also. So that's what I got.
Thanks.
Okay. So we put a 2.7 on group rapport. Did he get rapport with you? Did you feel connected to the speaker? Yes. So these are the ways that he got rapport with you. Your very best skill is engagement. And you started off with music, you started off with swaying, you started off with humor, you started off with getting responses. There was engagement questions, there was metaphors, there was the self-disclosure, there were fresh expressions I want to know about this meta story. You said it was coming, but I didn't hear the meta story. You were playful with the names of what is it, Mighty Mandy? Miraculous. Marvelous Marzuki?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but then the voice at level 1 is monotone.
Right.
So it would have been a 3.0, and we put a 2.9.
So, under state inductions, we saw you, of course, engaging us. So it was a pretty good state induction, engaging. I wrote down learning also because the content was accurate, was clear, was pretty easy to understand. So it was a good learning state. But then desire, aversion, you were trying to induce those states with part of your content, but the lack of voice once again.
Expressions.
Yeah,
Voice.
exactly. So it was you were not really using induction, voice induction. It was more monotone. So we put you at 2.3 on that one.
Thanks, Dan.
So without the voice inducing state, even though you induced at least 4 states, it was not fully induced because of the voice. And so we put a 2.3 on that because we put a 2.3 on the voice. Under voice, your speed, your rhythm was just right on, good. Speed, articulation, the variation, I count as 3 or 4 voices, but then need more variation and monotone. So because of that, the 2.3 on the voice led to 2.3 on the state induction.
Yes.
And that is what will take your skills next level. And because it'll take your skill, it'll take every one of these other ones up. And so the voice is going to be the key.
Under space and movements, we counted around 9 congruent gestures. The independent self, the social self, it was matching the screen, the chain, at least you used that one 3 times. The timeline you were using when you were talking about 2014, so you were using the past in a proper way, and some other gestures that I don't have written down, but it was pretty complete, so we put a 2.6 under that one.
Okay. 2.6. So on demonstrating, you can see at the questioning, you really used all the questions in the pattern. You did it very well. You did acknowledgments. From a coaching standpoint, you did okays and nods. There was a strong instructional voice, but we never heard the induction voice. And we did not hear the matching with her voice. So I was hoping that you would hear that her voice was 2 or 3 degrees higher, stronger.
Faster.
And so her voice was here and your voice was here.
Yeah.
And so not matching the client's voice, even though you both had microphones.
Right.
So we put a 2.3 because of that. Otherwise, it would have been a 2.6, 2.7 for demonstrating.
Go ahead.
And for answering the questions, you knew your content. It was well. You checked to see if it was answered. You even asked the question behind the question. So a strong 2.5 on the questioning. Woo! So to take your skills to the next level, it's going to be the voice.
Yeah.
That's the one, and really the only thing that's missing. And with it, the
scores will go.
the score, the quality of your skill will be so much stronger. What do you need to do? What shift do you need to make so that next time that voice you can use as your instrument?
I'm not sure. I don't think I want singing lessons. Maybe that's the front that's stopping that.
If you listen to David, if you listen to myself, there's a lot of variation.
Yeah.
So that might be something in the next 13 days to keep modeling how we do it and how other people will do it, because there'll be a lot of examples. And for the most part, I'm guessing it's just a matter of attention to it and then willingness to play with your voice. Now, we are emphasizing this because this is going to be a message to many of you.
Yeah.
To use your voice.
Yeah. Something that helped me a lot was acting. I was an actor for a while. So that helped me to be more flexible with my body, with my voice. Perhaps doing something like that.
More acting.
Yeah. But I mean, I was taking classes for action.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, John.
We got a few minutes, and this might be a good time if you have questions about the benchmarking and how we're doing it and why we're emphasizing what we are. This might be a good time to ask, because you can learn a